Hi, everyone. Morgan here. I hope everyone can hear me and see me okay. So, first of all, I want to apologize for that's YouTube telling me. I want to apologize first for my mistake. Yesterday, I had some people contacting me and they were like, "Where's the live stream?" And I was like, "What live stream? That's tomorrow." And anyway, so that was my bad. It wasn't yesterday. I thought it was supposed to be for today. I thought I scheduled it for today, but it was showing up yesterday. So I apologize about that. And second of all, I'm doing this live stream. I have about until my husband and my kids get home. They had to make a run into town. We're working on a project and we needed a couple things. We got like wrong things. Sucks having to run an hour and a half into town to get things that you forget or get the wrong things or something. You always try to like make sure you're getting the exact right things. But anyway, in this live stream, I wanted to talk about, just I think sometimes we need some motivation when it comes to everyday life or especially like preparedness. We need maybe sometimes a little bit of motivation. So I want to talk to you about like the title of this stream is like, are you mad about what's going on with this world? Then we need to be prepared and you need to be a prepper, right? And I think that we need to use not fear or necessarily anger, but I guess realization to realize that that there are a lot of things out of our control, and we can control a lot of things, but we can't control like the things that we can control would be things like being prepared. We can't control what other people are going to do. We can't control what private citizens are going to do. We can't control other people or situations or natural disasters. Like, we can't control a lot of these things, but we can control how prepared we are for them, for those unexpected events, for the anomalies, and even for the expected events such as the natural disasters and things. So I want to tell you a really quick story. Hi, everyone, by the way. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. But I want to tell you a really quick story here. I've been a prepper for so long, and I'm always learning new things. And this was like a few years ago. Kid Rogue, I think, was like 2. And we were wandering around Toys R Us. Yep, when Toys R Us still existed. It was like middle of the day of the weekday, and we were just kind of like wandering around the store. And she was just kind of like jaunting along the aisle. And then all of a sudden she took a face plant, a literal face plant, and she bit her lip and it just started bleeding. And at the time, I didn't really carry a first aid kit. I didn't carry a lot of stuff for that kind of stuff. I didn't even carry tissues at the time. Okay. And I could have gone to the bathroom and like got some paper towels. I could have gone out to the Jeep because we had a first aid kit in the Jeep. I could have done all these things, but the first instinct that I had was to go to like the main desk and ask for, I figured they had a first aid kit or something. They got to have something, a tissue or something. And I went directly to them and I was like, "Do you have a tissue or something?" And my daughter's screaming in my arms, and she has this blood gushing down her face. I'm laughing because you'll see why here in a second. And the people are just like, "Oh, I don't know. Do we have tissues? First aid kit?" Like, like they were talking about these things like they'd never heard of them in their life. And I was so mad at them. And I was like, why? Why don't you have these very basic things? You don't have a first aid kit. You don't have tissues up here. What are you doing, And then almost in this realization, as I was getting mad at them, I was getting mad at myself. I was like, I don't have anything. I don't have anything to help my child in this moment. What am I doing? And I was so like, it was just like a lightning bolt to me at that moment. And like I said, at that point, I had been a prepper for such a long time, but like sometimes you always get like this kick in the butt of like realizations, and that just kind of helps propel you to be a little more prepared in various ways. And that was something for me that really like, yeah, I was so mad at them, but I wasn't really their fault. It was, I in the end, it was my fault because I couldn't be, that total self-reliance for me and my kid. And I really pushed harder for a lot of things after that, as far as like first aid and like having some other little basic supplies. Like a lot of people, like in the prepper community and stuff, we carry a lot of things that we might need for like a very survival situation, but we don't carry things that are like practical and help us every single day. And I think that everyday preparedness is something that can help propel us forward. I keep saying that, but it's true. It can help, propel us forward and get us into a better mindset of generally being overall prepared, not just for, um, you know, a big world event, or the end of the world or whatever, but just those everyday things. And then those everyday things can get us thinking about those bigger things, about the natural disasters and maybe the end of the world if you want. um, and so anyway, I just want us to kind of think about um these everyday events and like how we can be a little better prepared by happening to, by thinking about, well, how could I help this situation? Instead of relying on other people for my needs, how could I better take care of my needs and the needs of my family and all these things? And it seems like really obvious, but sometimes, these things just kind of, slip through our fingers. And so I don't want you guys to like use fear as a motivator, but I want you guys to also realize that we're the I mean, I say it all the time, but we're the only ones that can um be there for ourselves. And even as we're seeing every single day, there are things happening in the streets and bystanders and all these things, like they're not helping and they're just, video recording. They're not really helping. And so it's not generally their job to either. Like a lot of us really want to rely on other people, but I also want to say that we should create community and create, a positive atmosphere of community and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, try to acquire skills and knowledge and gear and food and stuff that you don't have to rely on those other people, on that community. But, if you all could come together, that's great. But, you're not like 100% relying on those people. So, um, but thanks everyone for being here again. And I actually want to show this comment real quick. We're bred to be part of the system that we become dependent on. And this could not be better said. We really are. We are bred to be a society. And now we're like, we've always been a tribe people, like people need other people, and that's just kind of how it is. But it's not so much like I feel like we need to get back to like those smaller kind of communities, instead of that being so dependent on the big system, on the grid and the water supply and our food system and all these things that are so fragile as they already are. Just as we've seen in the past year, I mean, how super fragile this stuff is. And we see it all the time, especially during natural disasters. We see how fragile our system is. When a natural disaster pulls through, let's say a hurricane comes through, things can be disrupted. And maybe that disruption is just locally or regionally, but it's still a disruption. And here's another comment I want to show. If you can't help yourself, it's difficult to help others. And that's absolutely true. And before we ever help anyone else or ever consider helping anyone else, we got to help each other. We got to help ourselves, And And I also understand this. Been working in the community. It's a tough one for the trust factor. We don't trust a ton of people, but even if it's just like those few people, like you don't have to have like a huge community. Again, like we're thinking of that huge modern society, and we have to be dependent on this big government and all this stuff. Maybe let's think a little bit smaller. Maybe let's think of a couple neighbors, or a couple friends, or a couple family members. And right now, like we've been building trust over the past year for our neighbors, and it's been good. Our we've been really lucky that our community has been so welcoming. And not all communities are like that. I've definitely lived in places that they're not all great, but we've definitely found the few. We've picked at them. We've picked out those few, and sometimes it's the few that you need. Sorry, I'm reading comments. Yeah, I mean, just do it. I can't even express to you how liberating it has been to not have a mortgage, we're completely debt free, and we're living a life that is, on basically our terms. We're still prepping, and we're doing all these things, and some land, like, I don't want you guys to think like that you need like a ton of land to do a lot of things. Like there's people like, 2, 3, 4, 5 acres, doing so much with that acreage, even just like a quarter, you can do a lot on a little bit of land. And so don't think that you need like a ton of land, to do everything that you want. And more isn't always better. I want all the land, but that's just me. Yeah, dude. I'm just now seeing rubbing alcohol back on the shelves. Yes, me too. Just in this past couple months, every time I've been seeing rubbing alcohol, of all the things, I never really like thought about it. Like it's all these like lessons that we're learning all this time. And so the other day I scored 99%. It's a gallon, 99% rubbing alcohol. I could not believe it. I bought it. I was like, what is this? I struck gold. It was wonderful. Let me see. There was one other thing here. Hold on. Natural disaster happening right now. Huge 5,000 acre forest. I think we saw one of our local fire station, or anyway, there's a fire helicopter. I don't know what they're called. Actually fly by today. It flew by our house towards New Mexico, and I was like, what's going on there? Like, and so now I know. I haven't kept up with the news today. My bad. Anyway, but yeah, that's fires are huge, and especially, in really dry times like right now, very high fire risk. Sorry, I'm reading and trying to talk at the same time. Yeah, it's truly crazy how people just kind of don't see how fragile our system is, because they see full grocery stores and full department stores, and they see all this abundance. They see the abundance right there in front of them. And then when they don't see it the next day, they're like, what's happening? I've had this abundance my whole life, and now it's suddenly gone. The abundance was never promised. It was never promised to any of us. And, this whole the system of taking care of all these people, that's a heavy burden. It's a heavy burden on our whole society and whole system. It's a very heavy burden. So I gotta send my game, see the news. Yeah, there's a lot going on. And so again, I'm actually going to show this comment because I don't want you to use fear as a negative. If you're kind of like nervous and scared a little bit, I want you to positively use it. I want you to use that fear or anxiety or whatever you're feeling, and I want you to positively use it to better change your life, to better get prepared, to learn more skills, to gain more knowledge, to buy a little extra at the store, to start a little container garden, whatever you got to do. Okay, I want you to use it as motivation and inspiration to be better prepared. That's what I want you to do with that. I want you to flip it around and make it a positive change. And also, I want to say we did not luck out. We didn't luck out. I don't know if you're talking about the fire or just like the RV or whatever. None of this has been luck. Okay. We have worked really, really hard for this, and we continue to work really, really hard. And so I just, but if you're talking about the fire, yeah, I did luck out. But we're pretty close to New Mexico. And I'm pretty sure we're close enough to that fire in which we saw the helicopter go by that they needed help. So anyway, dude, there's been a ramen shortage since the beginning of COVID. People just took that ramen. They knew. They're like, ramen, that'll last forever. Yeah. So yes, I did. Yes, about the rubbing alcohol. Sorry. Thank you for clarifying. I'm talking about several different things. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, I really did look out, and it was actually the last one on the shelf. 99%. Man, I don't think I've ever seen that like physically in my life in a store. Couldn't believe that. Never masking my child ever. Like my child sometimes watches just like propaganda videos of like kids being like, put on your mask and go before you go outside and all this stuff. And I'm like, turn that off. And I like, I literally go over to her screen and I'm like, we ain't watching this. And I'll like change it. I very closely monitor what she watches, especially these days. There's a lot of influencers using their influence to influence, and it's what they believe in, and that's fine, but I don't have to watch it. My kid doesn't have to watch it, so whatever. Okay, so let's see. There's some debate going on. Oh yeah, we use our small earthquakes to remind us to stay motivated. Had a small one this morning, 4.9. Yeah. So Anchorage, yeah, Alaska. I think Alaska has quite a bit of earthquakes. I think the U.S. experiences earthquakes all the time, but they're not all noticeable. But you never know when the next one is. I remember seeing a picture like last year. I think it was last year. Maybe it was the year before. This whole last year is kind of a blur. Of this really big earthquake in Alaska, and like pretty sure it was Alaska, and the whole road had just like caved in, and it made it impassable. And so, if you were in that situation where an earthquake literally made a road impassable for your vehicle, how would you get around that situation? What if the earthquake happened like right outside your home? I mean, that's terrifying. Earthquakes are largely unpredictable, so that's scary. Organic canned beans. Really? I bought some canned beans from them once, like last year, I think. I try to buy. Well, I like black beans. I buy a lot of black beans. I don't think I have bought from Costco for a while. All right. So, yeah. Okay. This is a topic I really want to talk about. I've been trying to talk about it in a future video, but this is actually this is a conundrum to me, because now in my area, we have been experiencing half and half, as in half people wear them and half won't. Now, during like the main time of the pandemic, it was like everybody was wearing masks, and it's like, I hate masks. Okay. They're useless. Now if you're wearing the right mask for the right situation, then right on. But, wearing a paper thin mask for a virus is silly. But anyway, my point is, you want to wear a mask, that's it. That's great. That's your choice. But also, it's the fact of the gray man if everyone, the whole theory behind Gray Man is if everybody is doing it, then so should you. Otherwise, you're standing out, right? So it's like I'm in this whole conundrum, like this. I'm torn. On the one side, I really don't want to wear this mask, and on the other side, and we don't have mask mandates where I am, and in my specific area anyway. And our governor, I think, is got rid of the mask mandates anyway. And so and then on the other side, it's like, well, if everybody else is wearing a mask, I should probably be wearing a mask too. And also, I kind of like wearing a mask in general because then it hides my face, like away from, you know, security and stuff like that. Not that I'm trying to like hide anything or be hidden from anyone, but it's kind of that gray man tactic. And so I'm very, very torn on each side. It's hard, but yeah. But that's a good topic, one I really want to talk about in a future video, but more than just I'm torn, what do I do? but yeah, for city folk, Gray Man is key. Like out here in the country, literally no one's wearing a mask, so I don't wear a mask, and makes my life easier. But also, we don't have super high risk out here anyway, and but yeah, so like, if you're going into the city and you see everybody wearing a mask, are you going to continue to not wear a mask because there's no, mandate, or just because you don't want to, or whatever the case may be? Or do you wear a mask to fit in with everybody else that's wearing a mask? So now it's a point of Gray Man. So it's crazy. We had the stomach flu spread like wildfire among us as we care for my grandpa. We all wore masks tediously. I mean, there are many situations in which a mask is important. And especially having like the proper masks for the proper job, or for the proper situation. Is definitely important. I don't think all masks are useless all the time. But there's certain situations in which they are definitely necessary. And so, but yeah, so, well, I hope everyone's feeling well. Let's talk about prepping. Thanks for letting us know. Let's see. Breathable ones on Etsy. I'm not sure. What do you mean breathable? Explain. No, but Texas, man. Texas has been like, we came from Texas, and Texas has always been, very a great state to live in, but like we moved away from there to another state which is supposed to be very free and whatever, and so and I keep looking at Texas and I'm like, yes, Texas, yes. And I'm like, I turn to my husband, I'm like, did we make a mistake leaving? But yeah. Okay. Hey, Doc, please bestow the blue wrench. I'm missing this reference. It may be because I'm a little tired. Last night, there was a 40-mile-per-hour, not gusts, consistent wind at 4 a.m. There wasn't supposed to be any wind at that point. 40-mile-per-hour winds just beating on the RV. And I'm a pretty light sleeper, which is good and bad, but I'm a pretty light sleeper. And so that just kept me up for it was for an hours beating along the RV. And I'm so tired because of it. And I've just been having a very cranky day. It doesn't seem like it. But I got a little extra caffeine boost. So that's made me very happy. But man, I was very cranky. Anyway, it's our windy season here. That's what I hear. This is my first official, like, full spring here, but yeah, my husband wears one, but as anybody knows anything about masks, if you have a beard, it's like almost useless. But I see a lot of people with masks too, that they're just like really open. So like it's really loose, like it's kind of loosey-goosey around your face. And again, kind of defeating the point of the mask a little bit. And so it is hard, it's hard to be like totally legit with these masks in a lot of situations, you know, but I don't think they really care about legitness. All right. This is just funny. You should. I've been tempted to wear my gas mask out, but the only reason I haven't is because I don't want to waste the filter. Have you seen how much those filters are online now? They were like $20 or something. Last time I looked at the gas mask filters, it was $50. And I'm like, I could just literally buy a brand new gas mask that already comes with a filter. I just buy gas mask with the filter instead of just buying the filter by itself for $50. I'll just buy the gas mask with the filter for $50. Whew, crazy. Those filters are crazy expensive now. The gas masks themselves have gone back down, but when it was like peak COVID, I looked online because I realized I hadn't gotten one for little Rogue yet. She has one now, by the way. But I realized I hadn't gotten one for her. And so I went online and it was like $150 for the Israeli ones. And I was like, like, they'll go back down. And they did. They went back down. It was still a little bit more expensive than I had paid originally, but still. Okay, so Black Plague. All right. So I may have to cut this a little short. I'm doing this live stream while my husband and kids have been out. But when they return, I will have to put the kids down. That's why I'm in the RV. They are not here. I think someone had mentioned, how is it so quiet in the RV right now? My husband and kids had to run into town to get a couple things. And the doggies are hearing something, but I don't think it's them. I think it's our neighbors. But anyway, this is funny. This is actually true. New Mexico is very, very, very strict. And we are actually considering making New Mexico home, and kind of glad we didn't. New Mexico is beautiful. Love New Mexico, but at least we can always visit. We're pretty close to New Mexico. So, but yeah, so anyway, I'll as soon as they get home, my point is what I was saying is as soon as they get home, I'll have to skedaddle. You know, we could put them to bed. I have better light in the RV. I'm trying to get a light set up in the shed so I'm not like darkness. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is another thing. The masks have been becoming fashion statements, and the thing about the masks is, you know, they become more about fashion statement than they are about actually like protecting you, which is kind of the point of the mask. And I think that's what infuriates me the most about a lot of this stuff. And I get it. Like people, you know, if they're forced to wear a mask, they want to wear a mask that makes them feel good and look good and whatever, matches their outfit. Okay, great. Well, you know, I hope that it works too. That's all I'm saying. Like, I just hope that it works. And like, I think that people are making it such a fashion statement that I think they're kind of forgetting about the purpose of the mask. And so another thing is that nose. Have you guys seen that nose mask? Like just the nose? They're like, they're saying that nose mask can like drop transmission by whatever percent or whatever just by wearing the nose mask. But it was my understanding that it came from talking and breathing and all this other stuff. So they're saying that this mask is just for the nose. And so yes, breathing helps or whatever, say, you know, whatever too. But you know, that's why you have to wear the mask over your nose and mouth. The mask has to go over the nose and mouth. It has to go over both in order for it to actually be effective. That was my understanding, and that's been my understanding. But yeah, no, you guys should look it up. Like they're saying this is the new revolution of masks. There's just the nose mask. It should be painted red is all I'm saying. Okay, thank you, Bacon. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Somebody say darkness watches room go dark. Just gonna let you guys read that for a second. Okay, so I want to visit there really bad. I hear it's really awesome. I want to see all the buildings and I want to see everything one day. My grandpa lives in New Mexico, but he won't see me until I'm vaccinated, which isn't going to happen. And so my mom is the same way. She will not see me or the kids until all of us are vaccinated. And you know what I saw today? I saw that they're testing the vaccine on children, that they're doing tests on children. So yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But again, like, it's just like the masks. I think it should be a choice. You want to be vaccinated? You do you. You do you. All right? But you don't? That's cool too. But my family is very pro this vaccine that doesn't actually prevent it. I heard a very specially worded commercial from Michelle Obama. I listen to Pandora, and I don't pay for Pandora, so I get commercials, and I heard this very specially worded. It said, get the vaccine so that you can reduce symptoms. So that it reduces symptoms. Nowhere does she say that it prevents you from getting COVID, because it doesn't. She just simply said, get the vaccine so that you can help reduce symptoms. But all my family, every single one of them thinks that it actually prevents you from getting it. And, but, again, like, if you want to get it, that's totally fine. If you have to get it, really think very, very closely about doing something you really don't want to do. But I understand if it's something you do, and I get it, and that's fine. I'm not going to say one word. We can still be friends, okay? And that's fine. You want to get it, get it. And if somebody decides they don't want to get it, fine, but don't try to tell me that it actually prevents people from getting it, because it doesn't. So, it can, fine. It could reduce symptoms, and that's fine, but it doesn't actually prevent you from getting it. I'm sorry, I'm beating a dead horse. I had a very bad conversation with my mother that has strained our relationship even more than it already is strained. And so, yeah, it's breaking families apart, and it's really ridiculous that, we can't just be like, listen, you're vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, then you're safe, right? So why are you trying to force the vaccination on me if you getting the vaccine means that you're safe? So you're safe. You're good. Right? Like, that's it. You get the vaccine, you're all good. So now you're trying to force me to get it because I understand, like, you want, you love us, and you want to be, care for us and whatever, but I don't know what else to say. Like, it's breaking families apart, and it sucks. All right. Let's get to some. Yeah, here we go. No point in calling people sheeple. We can be humble and do our own thing in our pockets of freedom. I mean, that's just it. Like, I've never had any problems with people, like, wearing a mask. If you want to wear a mask, that's fine. Don't berate other people for not, because again, like, we can't all be sick. And at the same time, if you want to get the vaccine, that's cool. We should still have our pockets of freedom. Again, having the vaccine is fine, but it's also wildly untested, and it's also, not it's not like a lot of other vaccines, in which the fact that it actually prevents you from getting it, which it doesn't. So a lot of vaccines. Anyway. Yeah, so have to respect the well wishes of our adult children. this is tough. It's tough for parents to come to this realization, but what I'm learning from this whole experience with me and my family is I want to treat my children with respect. I want to listen to them. I want to hear their side, and I want to understand their side. And I want us to actually have a real discussion, you know? I don't want to just like lash out and throw names. I want us to have like a real discussion. I want to understand their point of view, why it's different and whatever. And that's the biggest thing that I've gotten from this whole thing. It's not just respecting their well wishes, but having like a real true discussion. And like, that's what I'm pulling from this. And that's what I really want to be, that person for my children. I want to hear them. I want to have discussions. I want to understand, and I want them to hear me too. Like, both sides need to be heard. And so, anyway, that's what I'm learning from this whole thing, is how I want to be for my children, or how I not want to be for my children, rather. And this is just it. Like, I honestly wish well for everybody that, is taking it. Like, there are a lot of negative effects, and I wish you, like, truly, truly wish you well. Whoever takes it, I wish you well, and I wish that it has no bad effects on you. Okay, truly. We're going to be talking about debate skills. As a society, we stopped teaching debate in the 1990s, and today debate is considered microaggressions. 100% true. Yeah. We used to be able to actually have discussions and debate with each other, but now it's just, you're wrong, you're stupid, you're poo-poo head. My side is the only right side, your side is wrong. And unfortunately, I actually wanted to show this comment real quick, because it is so wildly untested with pregnancy. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I don't think there's you can't have certain fish, but you can get a wildly untested vaccine, something that hasn't been tested on pregnant people, but it's totally safe. I don't know. Just saying. Maybe wait. Just wait, please. That's all I'm asking. Please, please wait. Yeah, so I don't think this is right either. Again, you kind of have to think about your own well-being. They're an employer. They're not going to live your life. If you have severe reactions, or you pass away because of this vaccine, because your employer forced you to take it, I think that's no way to live personally. And I think there's other ways to make money personally. But again, I know people got to live. I know people got to make that money, and I know people got to survive, and I get it. But if it's something you truly don't agree with, really got to weigh your options there. All right. So yeah, I mean, just in general, like, they want to give you like the flu shot and stuff while you're pregnant. Even that kind of is weird to me. Like, I didn't get the flu shot when I was pregnant. My doctor wanted me to, and I was like, no, I don't think so. Now, your immune system is already pretty weak while you're pregnant, but I actually caught a cold a couple times while I was pregnant, and yeah, it sucked, but well, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, just kind of deal with it and move on. If it was safe for pregnant people, why did they ask my daughter if she was currently pregnant, or if there was a possibility she might be pregnant? Well, that's I get what you're saying. That's a pretty typical question, I think. For a lot of medical related stuff, they just want to make sure, because again, like, there's a lot of stuff you can't do, and you can't, you just can't do while you're pregnant. There's just so many things you can't do while pregnant. So it's wild that they're pushing this so hard for, well, they're not pushing it real hard for pregnant people, actually. I think it's a choice. So I think you can go in if you're pregnant and be like, yeah, if your doctor says it's okay or something. I don't know. Thank you very much, Knife Text. It's so good to see you here. I love seeing you. I had COVID in January. Don't feel the need to get a vaccine now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I might have even had COVID at some point. I mean, I I think there was a point in which I felt kind of lethargic and had a little stuffy nose for like a week or something, but I kind of I just whatever. I took a bunch of vitamin C. Like when I'm feeling a little under weather, like right now, I think I'm just tired. But sometimes when I'm just feeling kind of yuck, I'll just take like an emergency, boost of a vitamin C or vitamins, just a bunch of vitamins, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I've had it at some point. I'm pretty sure my husband has had it, and you know, I didn't rush out to get tested to see if I had it. I don't see a point in doing that at all. um, but that's just me. And now if I have an illness and it like, progressively gets worse, any illness, it doesn't matter what we're talking about, if I have short of breath or, if I have, some severe problems, yeah, I'll probably go to the doctor, because that's severe problems. But if I'm just kind of feeling a little under the weather, I'm not going to go get tested for the flu or COVID or whatever. I'm just not. Like I don't know. It doesn't seem relevant. Like, I don't know. That's just me, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, there were so many people rushing to get tested. I feel like people got COVID because they were around so many people getting tested. Don't even get me started on this. This is so funny. Because I think you're right. Like, I think some people went and got tested and legit had COVID. And then the people went there, didn't have it, and then probably got it like a few weeks later. So you're like I'm sorry, this is kind of funny to me. They tell you stay home, stay home, stay home, and then they're like, "No, come on out and get tested." And like it's all outdoors. There's like these tents and all these things. I don't mean to laugh. Like I don't want anybody to get sick ever, but it's kind of true. So, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, what's the point? I don't really know. Like, I don't understand what's the point to get tested if I have a sniffy, stuffy head or stuffy nose for a couple days. My stepbrother, I don't know if he ever watches my stuff, but if he does, hello. He actually, not stepbrother. Why did I say stepbrother? My half brother. He had COVID and he actually had he was sick for a few weeks and then he decided to go to the hospital and he's fine. He had to be on like oxygen and stuff. He had a compromised immune system, so he was actually at risk for anything, the flu, cold, whatever. Like he's compromised for a lot of things because he had a kidney transplant. Anyway, and so there are definitely people who are more at risk of general sickness. Yeah, absolutely. And so so anyway, my point is he was in the hospital for a little bit, but he's totally, well, as far as I know, he's totally fine now. He had some oxygen for a little while and I think he's okay now. He's alive and well, and we've been talking and everything. And so everybody in their family is taking total precautions and all this stuff. And I think it's a virus and it'll affect people, and people who are at higher risk need to take higher precautions, basically. Child with a bad cold. As their parents should be able to just call them off. They don't need to go to the doc. Wait, he had a cold and he had to go to the doctor? That's weird. That's really weird. That was really dumb. When I was a kid, if I wanted to have a cold, or if I wanted to, if I had a cold, or if I wasn't feeling sick, or if I wasn't feeling well, I would just be like, okay, let's go home. And I went home. I like very rarely ever saw the doctor as a kid. Only like a couple times because I got something stuck in my ear once. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like very rarely did I ever go to the doctor besides just like regular checkups or whatever. Do you think about how gov and media would love nothing more for us to cower and feel? Yeah, I mean, I saw some notification on my phone saying how the CDC has new recommendations for mask wearing while outside. And I'm like, you're outside, don't wear a mask at all. Don't wear a mask at all. You are outside. You people are crazy. Get some fresh air. Smell some flowers. Oh, but yeah, so they will be back here in just a little bit. They've been with a husband. They sorry, I was reading comments. My kids are coming back here in just a little minute, in just a minute, and when they come back, I will have to say adieu and put them to bed since I'm in the RV. But they went out with husband to go collect supplies for something I'll be showing in the future. It's a secret. Okay. You have to take your doctor to get permission to come back to school. All right, well, I just won't take him back to school then. I know that is not the answer for a lot of people. People work, I get it. You know, it's not the answer. I'm just saying that was ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right. You can't call your kids off school. They have to see the doctor so that it's excused and you don't get in trouble for truancy. I can't even. My mind is spinning with responses to that, but that is absurd. That is seriously absurd. They're my children. I want to call them off. I will call them out. If I want them to just have a freaking day away from school, I will take them out of school. Public school is freaking ridiculous. And I just, the more I hear about all this craziness, I really, really don't want my kids in public school, like at all. It's all the COVID talk. People get very heated. They get very triggered with all this stuff. Also, I'm pretty sure I have a few trolls that just come up along my videos and downvote. But hey, come and downvote, everybody. It gives more attention to me. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, if homeschool's the option is a good option for you, then homeschool is a good option, I think. You know, and it doesn't even have to be super serious. That's a whole nother discussion for another time. PDF. So I know that, well, I'll have to, you know what? I have an old video. If you search my videos for, I think it's free PDFs or something like that. If you search my videos, you'll come up with that, and it should have an up-to-date link. And if it doesn't, let me know. I will try to find it and put it in the community section though. But I get them from various places. I never want to send my kids back to school. That's the spirit. Teach them what you want to teach them. Teach them about life. Okay, so I buy a lot of used books online, like a ton. And I've done a video about this before, but yeah, like thrift stores. Somebody was posting on Instagram some dollar store finds that they were finding, like these cool cookbooks and like a whole bunch of cool stuff for $1 from the dollar store. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is from the dollar store? So even they can surprise you. So yeah. Take that. Okay. I see no reason why good parents would continue sending their kids into hell. You know, a lot of people can justify it and they can say, oh, I was a public school kid, but you know, I feel like I'm pretty stupid for being a public school kid. And I say this in the sense of, I don't remember retaining a lot of information. And a lot of the stuff that I learned was actually outside of school. Now, I think history is very important. Math, reading, writing, of course, is all very important, but it doesn't have to be taught in school walls, in like, you know, official school walls. So many ways to teach and to educate. My Kid Rogue is already writing. She's on the path to reading. She's 4 years old, but she's writing. She's writing her name. She's writing full sentences. She is writing. And that's just from us. Us taking a pretty lax approach, let me tell you. we haven't been as on top of it as we should. I feel really guilty about this, but she is so smart, and kids are just so smart, and they catch on so quick. This is me. I took Japanese in high school, and I did remember a lot of it, but I don't speak it. Like, the thing about second languages is you got to speak it like all the time in order for it to really sink in. And if you're just taking like a year of it and then you never speak it again, you won't remember. So having a forced foreign language on you, I think, is nice, because you're introducing another culture, another language, that kind of thing. But it's also like, we can't really expect us to remember and retain this information so many years later. Like, it's cool to learn other languages. I'm actually trying to learn sign language right now, just because I think it would be something very interesting to know, very helpful, like basic bowl. This is milk, orange. Okay, I'm retaining some of it. Room. Let's see, this is laundry room. Laundry room. Anyway, I'm trying to like be proactive about that. I think that sign language is very cool and could come in handy. No, I don't think a lot of people want to opt to learn sign language, I think. But I put the word out there for you. Cece is looking for a husband, a good husband. Put the word out for you. No, I honestly, I have no recommendations. Good luck. I do, actually. Yeah, I have a lot of on my website at roguepreparedness.com, I do have I have a lot of PDFs, but they're not like books. I have a few books on my website for sure. They're not free. Sorry. They're like a buck. Buck or two. But yeah, I do have a lot of PDFs on my website that you can download. It's like organizational stuff, checklists, stuff like that. In Texas, they're only concerned about, oh yeah, that's another thing that really irates me. It gets me irate about schools, is that they're more concerned about tests than they are about actually teaching, which is very frustrating. So, any apps that you really like? I really like a lot of the first aid apps. There's also a Morse code app. They're offline. They're really good. I don't generally start any formal learning until they're 6 or 7. They need to start forcing 4-year-olds to do things they aren't ready. My 4-year-old isn't forced to do anything. Not sure what that comment was about, but we don't force her to do literally anything. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what that is in relation, what that comment was for, but I teach my kid what she feels she's ready. That's pretty much all there is to it. Yeah, that's another reason I'm learning sign language, for quiet communication. But I don't know when like an orange will come in handy, but I'm learning. Okay. Do you have an orange? Orange. Love dogs. Hey, thank you for saying my website. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we have, did I just totally skip over that? Yes, love dogs. We have 2 dogs. They're over there. I actually had to make sure they were over there. I let them out and I couldn't remember if I let them back in. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean, the push for public school and around here, they want your kids in school by 3. Holy moly. Well, yeah, they've always had like preschool and kindergarten and stuff, but I always found those things to be like fun. Let's paint and things like that. I don't know. Maybe they're getting more serious about it. I don't know. I don't keep up with it, to be honest. All right, so I think here's one more thing I want to say. I wish they would have taught life skills in school. Everything I learned doesn't really help me in the real world. Yeah, like I wish they had taught me about like financial, like how to budget my finances, how to stay out of debt, how to like real life stuff, even like preparedness stuff, like how to be prepared, like basic things like how, knowing a first aid kit, how to, CPR and first aid, like that should be like a basic class that they teach. They should teach sewing and home ec. They used to teach all that stuff when I was in school. They were phasing it out. When I was in high school, they were phasing it out of my school. And it was like the year I was leaving, it was like the last year of home ec or something. But yeah, like woodworking, I don't know if they still do that. I mean, this is all like life, like legit skills that we can all take with us into life, that will help us. But yeah, I agree. What 3 words? So I downloaded this app and I think this app is so fascinating. It uses 3 words in order to locate for your location. And so you can give these 3 words to somebody, whoever, but you have to know the 3 words, or you have to either give the 3 words or something like that. I was still kind of learning it, but I think it's a really interesting app. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, there's an app. You didn't know there was an app, huh? That's funny. Dude, like if I took a woodworking class, I would be as amazing as my husband is right now. An electrician class, like all this stuff, and they like wait for you to go off to college to learn this stuff. But why can't we have like a base to learn this stuff when we're really young and like want to absorb this stuff? Like there's theater and all these other things that I don't even think we had a debate team in my high school. Like there are just so many things that I think that we could have learned in school that they're cutting because it's not sports, or it's not what's something else super popular in school right now. I'm not sure. Do you go hunting? I kind of want a husband who hunts. I can't even handle a tiny bird with a bad leg. So I do hunt, but I also love animals, and I understand that I eat meat. And if I want to eat meat, I can hunt meat, if I don't want to eat meat, I won't hunt it. But I'm also about conservation, and hunting does help, it does help a lot, actually. Over hunting, obviously bad, but poaching, bad, awful people. I think that if you are going to hunt, definitely learn how to use the entire animal, like everything. I think it's super important. So, I'm definitely learning. I learn more about that all the time. And, yeah, just try to use as much as the, animal as possible and learn how to use it so that you're being respectful. Like we raised, meat chickens, recently. And, I basically just like totally took the emotion out of it. Like I only saw him to like feed him and water him. Like, you guys I don't like you guys. Get out of here. You suck. And I like totally had to take the whole emotion out of it. And the thing about like wild animals and stuff is I have no like real emotional attachment to these animals, except for the fact that I really love animals, and I do, and I love animals, but I also love meat. So, I want to raise pigs and, for meat, and I want to raise meat goats, and I want to raise milk goats or milk cows. I don't know which one yet. And I want to raise more dual purpose chickens for meat. So yeah, I want to raise and hunt my own meat. I think it's pretty important. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Somebody give this guy some Ovaltine. I feel like hey, wait a minute, didn't you promise me 101 uses for Ovaltine, or 101 recipes, or was it 110? Pretty sure it was 110. I am looking forward to this video where you're going to talk about the 150 best ways to use Ovaltine. Get on that. I don't really know. Actually, it's not a movie, but it's I'm watching The Walking Dead again. Not again, but I like totally just nixed The Walking Dead for a long time. It like really annoyed me. It was getting frustrating, and I just stopped watching it. And so anyway, like I started on season 9. I had gone from like season 5 to season 9, and I can catch up pretty quick, but I'm kind of into it now. I'm on season, we're on season 10, like a few episodes in, and anyway, it's getting good now. But I haven't watched an apocalyptic movie in a while. I watch a lot of apocalyptic TV shows and series and things like that. Yes, we have a ton of javelinas and wild hogs, and deer and rabbits, and there's bears up in the mountains, and there's a cougar came down recently. Scary. Don't name your food. That's right. I don't even name my egg chickens. I'm just chicken 1, chicken 2, chicken 3. That's what I name them. Yeah. Sorry. If you have husbandry, you won't travel in your RV any longer. I haven't traveled in the RV in over a year. We've been stationary on the land since we've been about stationary since March of last year. Wild hog is so amazing. Texas has the worst wild hogs, and I wish ranchers would open up their not like open up their land to like a whole bunch of hunters, but I wish they would like make it more affordable for hunters, I guess. Like I would have hunted way more hogs if ranchers were like, hey, here's, come on my land for $50, $100, whatever. Hunt all the hogs you want, because it's their problem. They're like a huge, huge problem. And they want them off their land, but they also charge like insane prices for hunters to come on the land, like anywhere from $500 to $2,000 or more to hunt just hogs, and then they have a limit. So anyway, not in Texas anymore, but Arizona hunting laws are pretty crazy. What was that? I don't have to watch The Walking Dead. That's called driving around Seattle and people watching. That's funny. Hey, what's up? Sorry, hold on. That's funny. Okay. Do you have water and sewage for your RV on land? Is it hard to get water and get rid of waste? We don't have a gray tank. We have a compost toilet, so we don't have to get rid of that gray water. We don't have to get rid of that waste, but we have gray water from like our sink and shower, but that's it. And we just plumb it. And then so we don't have like like we've plumbed it kind of a little deep into the ground, but is it hard to get water? No, we just haul it for now, but we don't have a well. It's not hard. We just have to haul it. That's it. I think that was the rest of the questions there. Okay. You guys are talking about libertarianism. Whoops, let me do that. Okay. I always think this is a funny one because I literally don't believe that you know everything. There are so many things and skills and things that we could be learning and understanding and practicing. I just think that our 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 ability to gain knowledge is endless, and I think that that's how we have to look at it. You know, start with bushcrafting skills, learn more knots. There's so much to learn. So I don't believe that you're running out of ideas. I think that you just need to move into different areas. So yeah, and keep practicing, because honestly, there's nothing better. There's You're going to come to a time in which you're going to want to use something or have to use an item or practice a skill, and you're going to be like, oh, I'd never practiced that, but now I suddenly have to do it. And you're going to have to work twice as hard to learn that skill in that moment, in which you could have just been building up that muscle memory this whole time by practicing the skills in peacetime, instead of having to struggle to do it during a stressful time. So practice, 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 learn new skills, and always be practicing. Okay. Oh, that would be so cool. I keep hearing of like prepper camps and stuff like that, and I think that those are just so cool, but there needs to be like I don't know. I agree. There needs to be a prepper palooza long weekend somewhere like right in the middle of the US somewhere, and then maybe one day international. It'd be so cool. I love it. Love it. Okay. So yeah, there's a good one. And I'm not trying to call you out, Deb. Totally not. I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad by saying all this stuff. I just think that there's just a ridiculous amount of information to know. And also, like, let's talk about prepping and saying fitness, finances. I mean, all these things. There's so much to learn and so much to just keep going on. And so if you, I think the people who are totally 100% confident, I think that something's missing. Like I'm pretty confident in a lot of things, but there's so much to learn, just a ridiculous amount. And then practice. There's a lot to practice. Keep doing the same thing a million times until you get it wrong that millionth and one time, and you're like, gosh, what happened there? And you get to reassess, and then you get to practice some more. So yeah, fitness is an ongoing thing. No, we always have one rooster, and the other rooster's gone. Let's just say that. The other rooster is gone. Being fit helps your body deal with the stress of HTF 1,000%, mentally and physically fit. A lot of people they don't really understand, like being physically fit helps, in so many aspects, but it helps you physically deal with that stress. Like if you're unhealthy, I guess is to say, it's harder to deal with certain stress items, especially if you're putting stress on like joints, or you're putting stress on legs or arms, you're putting stress on your mind too. If you're putting stress on your mind, it's hard. If you're physically fit, then it can help your mindset. It just helps everything. And nobody's saying you have to be like, muscle man or anything, but try to, just getting out for like a walk every couple days or something. Totally helpful. So yeah, exactly. It doesn't make perfect, just better. I don't think you'll ever be perfect. I think Cody London said, he struck me one time, just made so much sense one time. Cody London said something on, I think it was on Dual Survival. He was like, I could make a fire 1,000 times and it'll be a different fire every one of those times, 1,000 times. Something like that. I totally butchered what he said, but you get the point. You make 1,000 fires, every single fire will be different, because it is. Just because you've done it a million times doesn't mean it's always going to have that same result. It's not. It's it's improbable. You could still practice and practice and practice, and you're building that foundation, but you could have different results. But because you've made that foundation, you now know how to fix any problems that come your way because you've built that foundation. Oh, what's going wrong with this fire? Well, I know what's going wrong because I've done it so many times that I can problem solve and troubleshoot quickly and figure it out because you've done it so many times. So, yeah. Anyway, this is a great crowd. This is a super great crowd. You guys are so amazing. You're wonderful. I love having you all here. Thank you all so much for being here. I am going to go ahead and check out for tonight. Thank you all so much. You are amazing. And I hope that you all, sorry, I was just reading a couple more comments. I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your night. Thank you so much for joining me here on your Tuesday. I really appreciate you guys. And please be sure to visit me on my website at roguepreparedness.com, and sure to like and comment when this is up and share and all that good stuff. That's right. I'm going to be the like, comment, and share crowd now. Okay. Thank you all. I really appreciate you. And I'll talk to you later. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.